Thank you for sending in those pictures. Please keep them coming. Your eyes on the field. To politics now, the People's Democratic Party has been doing its own assessment of the president's visit to Washington in the United States. For the party members, nothing beneficial to the country will follow the meeting.
Now that the visit has come and gone, our fear is that nothing whatsoever has been learned or gained. What we continue to receive as a nation have been embarrassing disagreements, accusations and counter-accusations, blames and denials on very important issues due to lack of tact and skill in the management of state matters by the APC-led administration. It is disheartening that rather than secure any sort of tangible gain for the fight against terrorism, which has lost steam under the APC watch, with insurgents who were pushed to the verge of surrender by the Goodluck administration, now surging back and spreading into the country. More so, as we have information that the presidency, acting alone, has gone into discussions with the World Bank for a loan of $2.1 billion for purposes unknown to Nigerians. What is the loan for? Who are the people to decide on how the money will be spent? Is it true that the $2.1 billion loan is meant to pay back huge contributions for the APC presidential campaign expenses?
The All Progressives Congress has condemned the statement by the PDP that you heard just a while ago at a press conference in Abuja. The ruling party says the PDP cannot provide a virile opposition, describing the party's criticism as convoluted and a hollow statement. The APC claims there is no government in Nigeria's recent history that has been as focused and systematic as the one headed by President Muhammadu Buhari. In a statement by its publicity secretary, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the APC further said the PDP is terrified by the exposure of how the federal government has looted the treasury and created an environment for impunity to thrive, as well as the fate that will befall those who were part of the show of shame and disgust. But we assure Nigerians that this government will not interfere with the work of the security and anti-corruption agencies, and also that under the Buhari administration, only the guilty needs to be afraid. End of quote. Let's turn to energy now. On the continent, the deficit, if it is not dealt with collectively, then nothing else will follow. That's the view shared by the chairman of the Business Council for Africa, David Lamb. He said this at a meeting on economic diversification on the continent. Mr. Lamb is calling for transnational action to solve Africa's energy crisis. Our correspondent in London, Doris Okenwa, reports.
Energy, one of the most fundamental drivers of a contemporary society. From large-scale infrastructure to business, healthcare services, or even the most banal of activities, energy powers everyday life. For Africa, the deficit is glaring. And while there is much aspiration to join the League of Developed Nations, one of the most basic uses of energy, electricity generation, still eludes many parts of the continent, stifling economic growth. The Business Council for Africa were at the Nigerian High Commission in London to discuss ways of enhancing investments and partnership. Economic diversification tops the agenda. However, a diversified economy is almost impossible, they say, without power. Chairman of the council says too much talk and little action is to blame.
There needs to be a real will to do something about it, and obviously in the end I believe that energy across Africa the issue can only be resolved by international action at a very high level, a sort of transnational, international objective to bring energy across Africa. And the warning is that if it isn't done, poverty will poverty will increase.
I believe Nigeria have the money. We have the money. The amount of money we spend on the recent election could provide light for every single state in Nigeria and still get some change back. So why are we not doing it? Why are we wasting our money? Set your priorities right. What do we need to move forward?
So it all comes down to planning for the future.
Recently, Britain has commissioned 2 nuclear power stations because we know we're getting short of energy. We're getting cuts out in London at the moment. Soon it's going to glow all over the UK if we're not careful, if we don't provide. Energy is the basis of everything that we do around. So you have to plan in advance.
Corruption has been a major setback for Nigeria's power sector. The country's new administration have been very clear about plugging loopholes. For the Nigerian High Commissioner, respect for regulations is key to securing international partnerships.
This is why people are happy that somebody like Buhari is there now. The laws we have will have to be obeyed. If we don't, we go nowhere.
Our laws in Nigeria are not respected by us, so we find other ways in which we override those laws, and if it's not respected and we don't respect ourselves, then how can other investors, big corporations, FTSE 100 corporations, be confident in the government of Nigeria if we don't respect Nigeria ourselves?
Now recall that Nigeria is also making moves towards nuclear power plants as a potential source of electricity supply, but that could take years, not to mention the challenges associated with nuclear power plants. The suggestion here is a combination of both short and long-term measures. From London, Doris Okenwa, Channels Television News.
Residents of Port Harcourt, the River State capital, have condemned the regular traffic gridlock around the metropolis, while some blame the situation on the condition of roads and call on the state government to double efforts at fixing the roads. Others say the indiscipline on the part of a few road users compound the frustrations of many people. Meanwhile, the River State Police Command has set up a traffic decongestion committee to address the worrisome traffic situation. It appears the leadership crisis in the House of Representatives is far from over, as a faction loyal to Femi Gbajabiamila has alleged that the Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, is planning to prevent members of their faction from entering into the chamber on resumption day. Briefing journalists in Abuja, spokesperson for the group, Mr. Nasir Zango Daura, warned that members of his group would not tolerate any plans to prevent lawmakers from going into the House of Representatives on Tuesday. Representative Zango Daura also said the members of the faction are not aware of any concessions offered to them by the Speaker of the House of Representatives and his supporters. This is in contrast with the position of the other faction, as a spokesperson for the consolidation group, Abdul Mumin Jibrin, on Saturday said the two factions have embraced peace in the interest of the country.
We know that this unholy agreement between the disloyal Dogara group and the PDP entailed the deployment of PDP members and the disloyal APC group in strategic positions in the structures and committees in the House of Representatives.
During the week, a Speaker of the House of Representatives set up a committee to consider another review of some sections of the Constitution. While setting up the 22-man committee, Honorable Dogara noted that many laws have become terribly outdated and therefore require desperate attention. The Speaker added that the committee's work will assist Nigeria in cleaning up its statute books and make the laws more relevant.
The major reason that informed the setting up of this committee is the urgent need to review the various laws that thought are statute books, some of which have become obsolete, anachronistic, outdated, and spent. Your committee is being inaugurated today to assist us in cleaning up our statute books and bringing all our laws up to date in order to meet the social, political, and developmental needs of our country.
Joining me now to discuss and take a fresh look at the proposal by the House of Representatives on a new constitution is Dr. Yemi Oke. He's a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Law at the University of Lagos. You're welcome to the News at 10.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Dr. Oke, do we really need a new constitution?
Oh, thank you for that question. We definitely wouldn't need any constitution at this particular time in the life of this nation. The move, to me, is the right step in the wrong direction, because that will show a kind of insensitivity to the mood of the nation. Nigeria is fast becoming a country of legalism as against legality. We kept rolling out laws. Most of those laws are really found wanting in terms of operationalization. They are not implemented, or no sanctions are really meted out to the offenders. The laws are just, the statute books replete with laws.
So you don't think the laws are outdated, like Honorable Dogara said?
Two things. Clearly, the constitutional amendment is different from law reforms. From time to time, statute books are reviewed. Some of the laws are reviewed, some sections done away with, new clauses inserted. That's one. But talking about amending the constitution, that to me would not be necessary, because we've had series of constitutional amendments at huge cost to taxpayers. Nothing has happened. Even serious countries, I'm saying serious country in quote now, we know the UK has no written constitution. Canada has no written constitution. Israel, New Zealand, these are serious countries. They have no written constitution. Even the United States, that operates the kind of presidential system we operate, it has a kind of pamphlet as a constitution, and it's only gone through 27 amendments since 1789 when the constitution was made. So, it's one amendment too many for the constitution. I think it's needless at this stage.
Well, whether we like it or not, the lawmakers are going to be discussing this when they resume on Tuesday. But what do you think should be their focus when they resume?
Their focus should be on how to ensure that the existing laws are fully implemented. They should be concerned about the petroleum industry bill. They should be concerned about a particular clause that allows state government to generate, transmit, and distribute power, which, contrary to what the Constitution says, state governments are not being allowed to do that. Those are the kind of laws that they should look into. That is already in the Constitution, but in terms of operationalization, nothing. So it's been implemented contrary to what the Constitution says. Those are the kind of things they should be concerned with. Really, whatever the laws passed, whatever discussion at the Parliament should really reflect the mood of the nation. The mood of the nation is to deal with corruption, punish the offenders, bring electricity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Oke, for joining us on the News at 10. Dr. Oke is a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Law in the University of Lagos.